Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Ebrahim Patel has opened the 9th session of the South African-Saudi Arabia Joint Economic Commission in Pretoria this week. The forum's objective is to strengthen investment opportunities in both countries. Saudi Arabia is South Africa's second largest trading partner in the Middle East and the largest source of imports from the region. I'm joined now by Saudi Arabia's Minister of Industry and Mineral Resources, Bandar AlKhorayef, joining us from Pretoria this afternoon. Good afternoon, Minister. Welcome to Today on ENCA. Thank you very much for your time. Can I begin first by asking you an overriding question? How are the discussions going so far with your South African counterparts?
Well, thank you for having me, Dan. The discussions are really going great. We have already finished our meeting today and signed the minutes of meeting. So I can say that we have achieved a lot. As you know, the COVID-19 have made us pause many of the discussions that was ongoing before. So 3 years behind us, and now we are catching up.
The big thing that's coming out among many topics that you are agreeing on, discussing and agreeing on, is around energy, and you as Saudi Arabia saying you stand ready to assist South Africa, particularly going forward with renewable energy. What exactly are part of the discussions around renewable energy?
Well, we see great potential for the discussion on the energy side as many other sectors. As you know, I was here in May to attend Ndaba, which is mainly focusing on mining, where we see great potential to work with South Africa. But today here in Pretoria, this visit is more on a national level. So I am representing the overall different sectors of the government, where we see great opportunities to work with our South African colleagues in the area of energy, industry, mining, tourism, healthcare, education, agriculture, and so on. So with regard to the energy, as you know, Saudi Arabia is very keen on also its own net zero targets, which we have already announced. And we have great experience in also solar and wind projects. And today we have a company like Aqua Power is actually investing in South Africa in one of the largest solar energy production that will be in operation by next year. And therefore we see great potential for Saudi Arabia and South Africa to work together in this area. And definitely we will see how we can extend this part of the discussion and part of the business.
So this company, the Saudi Arabian company that's already being part of the way forward, you said it's going to come on stream next year. How big is that investment?
The company has already started investment. I was talking about the project will be actually producing electricity next year from solar. And the investment is around $800 million.
That's quite a big chunk. Now, in terms of trade between the two countries, you import a lot of raw mineral resources from South Africa. Are you also exploring now new opportunities for other types of products that you could be importing from this country?
Definitely. As you know, these kind of agreements and discussions are focusing a lot on trade. And we believe that today we have great opportunity to increase the trade relation between Saudi Arabia and South Africa. With regards to the different products, I mean, one of the areas we see interesting is in food and food processing. Minerals will probably also continue to be main. We see also opportunity in the agricultural products, machinery and equipment. Mining is becoming more and more important for us in Saudi. And because of the base of the mining industry here, and there's a lot of suppliers of different equipment, that will be an area where we see great growth opportunities.
Yeah, an area of expertise that you have in Saudi Arabia that we don't have in South Africa in comparison is the oil sector. The oil sector. South Africa still imports a lot of oil from overseas. We don't produce our own oil in the country. Are there opportunities there for more cooperation and collaboration around oil? For example, we don't have oil refineries in this country. They existed before, but they've stopped operating. What are your thoughts? Are these forming part of your discussions?
Well, the refined products were part of the discussion, and we have also, as part of the delegation, the representative from Aramco, our national company, and we are looking at ways of how to expand this business, and we are also discussing with the South African colleagues, working with Exim Bank, the Saudi Exim Bank, which also is headed by myself. This is actually part of the discussion to ensure that we are able to help Aramco operate in South Africa and increase the business of refined product.
So you could explore assisting South Africa to re-establish oil refineries?
That is something that is being discussed with the Energy Ministry, and I mean, these opportunities are going to be looked at from a commercial merit point of view. So it is so far we haven't reached a stage where we are convinced it is something that is going to be happening soon.
Okay. Other concerns you have, I mean, as a Minister of Industry, Mineral Resources, as part of the Saudi Arabian government when it comes to investing in South Africa. I'm asking this question against the background of the challenges that South Africa is currently facing.
Well, I think, international investors normally they are looking at the different opportunities that different countries offer. Also the stability of the country, the demand inside the country, the access to different markets, the currency, the logistics. So it's a combination of many things. And South Africa have created an environment where it was successful in obtaining many investments in many sectors in the past. And I'm sure that it is keen to continue to doing so. We are also, on the other hand, in Saudi Arabia, we are exploring growth in different sectors, and as an example, mining and industry, tourism, and we are also seeking the companies from South Africa to come and invest or participate in certain projects that we are conducting in the country.
What kind of projects would you want to see South Africa investing in, participating in Saudi Arabia? Can you give us some examples?
I mean, definitely mining is an area of importance. The automotive business here is quite established, and we are now building automotive cluster in Saudi Arabia, where we will see growth in that area. In the pharmaceutical, also, we see that there is great opportunity to work with South Africa to develop local capabilities. Saudi Arabia is very keen to have, resilience in the areas where are of national security, like food security or health security or defense. These are areas of focus. Localization is also an area of focus. I believe that South Africa have a good track record also of training and skilling and reskilling of technical people and capabilities. So these are areas where we see great potential for working together.
Yeah. Do you still, as Saudi Arabia, do you still view South Africa as a gateway into the rest of Southern Africa, into the rest of the region, and into the continent? And if so, where would you want to see South Africa playing its part alongside with you as Saudi Arabians?
I think this is an excellent question, and the answer is simply yes. Saudi Arabia has been and will hopefully continue to be so. I mean, if we take, for example, SABIC have invested here in Africa and being present since 2008. They have their office here, but they are serving the different countries. We believe that there is a great opportunity to expand the logistic services so that South Africa actually continues to be a gateway to neighboring countries and access to many of the African continent. And that is key, as we can see clearly the location of South Africa and the local demand, the local market is stable enough to justify having investments, but it is also important to access markets. So this is what we are seeing, and we would like to explore more and see how if there is also anything that we can help in this regard. But it is a key element and very important strength for South Africa.
Yeah, I understand that you said you were in the country a few months ago, yourself taking part at the mining indaba in Cape Town. But I understand as well that the President of the Republic, Matamela Ramaphosa, will be visiting Saudi Arabia. Are you able to shed any light on that, that these discussions we are having now in Pretoria are like a precursor to the state visit to Saudi Arabia by our President?
We are very excited by the visit of the President of the country. It is, we have a great relationship with South Africa, and we would like to continue to build on this foundation of great political relationship from the economical side. Yes, definitely, we have utilized this session of our meeting also to discuss the different bilateral agreements that can be signed between Saudi Arabia and South Africa in the state visit, hopefully this month.
Oh, so the visit could be happening this month. Beyond the economy, beyond trade, beyond investment, are there other possible areas of cooperation other than what you've already mentioned, such as mining and tourism? Are there other areas that you would like really to get explored further, and maybe having our president, when he's visiting Saudi Arabia within the next month, to sign bilateral agreements on?
One of the areas that we are very keen about in Saudi Arabia is the human development. We have a huge program in this regard, and this program actually includes also sponsoring students to study outside Saudi Arabia in higher education, but also the program allows for training. So we see South Africa as a good partner for this also focus, which is human capital development. So we have discussed today the different opportunities that we can have, from the higher education to the training and technical training. In also, for example, South Africa is one of the very advanced countries when it comes to medicine and to also nursing. So these are areas of interest, and these are things that we have discussed also today.
Okay. Now, the president is going to be in Saudi Arabia within the next month or on a state visit, per your government's invitation. And as we conclude this week's discussions, how would you describe them? Have you been successful? Have you achieved what you were seeking out of them?
Definitely. I mean, most of the subjects that were listed as part of the discussion has been formally agreed on, more or less, and we also have a few other meetings online with some of the entities to ensure that we finalize some of the pending issues. But generally speaking, we are very happy. The turnout that we have seen today and yesterday was actually great, both from the government and from the private sector. Definitely the ambitions of our leaders are high, and their expectations are high, and I hope we can meet them.
Thank you very much, Minister, for your time on Today here on ENCA this afternoon. That's Bandar AlKhorayef, Minister of Industry and Mineral Resources of Saudi Arabia, just summing up for us the discussion so far this week, and of course the ones that are coming up still, and the upcoming visit to Saudi Arabia, he said, within the next month, of President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa.